What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. With Avengers Endgame and the first three phases of the Infinity Saga out of the way, Marvel is poised to bring all of the characters back into the MCU. And of course, right with the culmination of all this, Kevin Feige went ahead and jumped out in front of it, said, hey, it's going to be a long time before you ever see the X-Men in the MCU. Some of us assuming as long as 5 to 10 years, and possibly even them introducing the Fantastic Four before we ever get our first whiff of a mutant. But for a company like Marvel to say we're not going to see the X-Men anytime soon, they sure have been busy behind the scenes setting up all the things they need in order to get it done. What's incredible is that over the last 2 weeks, there's actually been more X-Men news over at Marvel Studios than any other franchise, Avengers or Fantastic Four included, but it's got a lot to do with what they're doing on the comic side to prepare us for the MCU. I'm going to break down everything that's been said and everything that's happened and been published in the last 2 weeks and explain what it means for Wolverine and the X-Men's introduction into the MCU. It's pretty awesome what Marvel Studios is doing, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel-related stuff, including tickets to go see Spider-Man Far From Home in IMAX. We'll actually be announcing a ticket winner at the end of this video. All you have to do to win any of the prizes, including the PlayStation, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there, including the next winner of the Spider-Man Far From Home IMAX tickets. So as I said, there's actually been a ton going on, and it started with Marvel right off the bat canceling all of their existing X-Men properties, mostly on the comic book side. Of course, the ones at the studios at Fox canceled as well as soon as Dark Phoenix was released. What this means was no matter what various stages of production, there were comics that were set to come out in the next 60 days, they canceled them all. It doesn't matter who was writing it, doesn't matter who was inking it. They went ahead and canceled all the X-Men properties across the board and gave it all over to Jonathan Hickman. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's because the Russos and Marvel Studios in the past have heavily leaned on Jonathan Hickman's source material as far as the Avengers and other Marvel runs to source what they do in the MCU. And the fact that they've now consolidated everything going forward under his voice means a lot for the direction of not only the X-Men, at least in their near future, getting a brand new storyline, possibly a revamping of a very old and outdated origin story, but more specifically in the big picture for the X-Men, if Jonathan Hickman is successful in any way with the core group of comic book fans that still buy them off the rack, namely myself, then there's a really good chance that these are the stories that they will use going forward with the X-Men in the MCU. It works twofold. Not only will it be a brand new source material that'll include some of the classic elements, but be a bevy of new storylines and dialogue that they can draw from, but really it won't be the same material that's been completely bastardized in those 2, 3, 7 remakes of the Dark Phoenix saga, Dark Phoenix 12. How many times can one person remake the same bad movie? And let it be known, it's common knowledge, there are so many fans that were on the fence about how badly the disaster went down with Dark Phoenix that a lot of people began to suspect that maybe the X-Men wouldn't ever be introduced into the MCU. And recently, an EVP over at Disney, Victoria Alonso, had mixed kind of words when she said, yeah, the X-Men are done. What she really meant was the Fox Studio X-Men are done, and then promised we will see the MCU X-Men at some point. Come on, they're some of the biggest Marvel characters, some of the most well-known characters, including characters like Wolverine. Eventually, they're going to make it in. It's just going to take a while, but maybe not as long as we all would think, because Marvel immediately released an official press announcement saying, what is the House of X and Powers of 10? Jonathan Hickman is introducing the next era of the X-Men, and the starting point for this experience is the House of X and the Powers of 10 series. These stories will be the foundation for all X-Men stories over the next several years and return the X-Men to their rightful prominent position in the Marvel Universe. House of X is a story about a pivotal month in the history of the X-Men where everything changes for mutants on Earth. We can't tell you because we're all sworn to oaths of secrecy. Powers of 10 is a story about the unknown secret history of mutants in the Marvel Universe. The press release continues by detailing each series is equally important. You'll need to read both to get the full story. As you delve further into each, you'll see how they're connected. It works as a series of reveals and revelations where each issue of House of X that follows Powers of 10 and vice versa makes you reinterpret the issue that you had previously read. At the end, they crash together in ways that propel us forward into a new X universe. Now here's the thing. If you were going to write a whole new story about a secret history of mutants in the universe, wouldn't that coincidentally work perfectly for a Marvel Cinematic Universe where we've been there for the better part of 2 decades and haven't seen a single mutant yet? And the truth is, we've been there longer than that, going all the way back to Captain America, the first Avenger, and then even further with this Marvel's Eternals movie that's coming out. But really, you don't need to go that far back to start bringing up recent history. We've had a huge chunk of the 1900s explored, both with Steve Rogers' story going through the World Wars, but also between Howard Stark and Hank Pym. There's a lot of the earlier stuff in the 1900s explored without the names of any mutants dropped, without there being a hint of a mutant anywhere, no Weapon X program. And this is all super interesting because, again, if there's this secret world of mutants in the universe that are somehow living underneath some sort of guise, then that's the perfect reason why they weren't there present during any of the events of the Infinity Saga. And you don't have to retcon any of the stuff in the MCU. You also don't have to pull a pretty hokey, hey, they came in through the multiverse, which just becomes a quick catch-all to solve all the problems of who wasn't there and who was. Now, like I said in the prologue to this video, this has all taken place over the last 2 weeks, which for a company the size of Marvel, to have two heads, both Marvel Studios on the film side and then their comic group over at Marvel Corporation, to work in lockstep, cut through the red tape of bureaucracy and get this much done with the X-Men, mean that they're definitely expediting the process, and probably because it's super important for them to lay the groundwork and get this right. And getting started early like this gives themselves as much time possible before they do make their debut in the MCU. Now, speaking of expediting the process, just some 2 days ago, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, I know a lot of channels covered it, I didn't think there was enough in this Twitter official document leak, but it wasn't a leak because they posted it. It was a fake redacted document meant to look confidential with a ton of stuff blacked out, but really all you were meant to read what was left there. It had stupid little symbols up top to make it look like it was code, but what it did was align Wolverine's story as Weapon X with Captain America as Weapon 1. Like I said, I didn't think there was enough in this tweet, in this document, to really warrant doing a video, and that's the same for all of the information in this video, right? It works together to paint the picture of what they're doing over at Marvel Studios, but each one individually is just a little piece of news. This is really interesting though. On this page right here that talks specifically about Wolverine, Weapon X, we all know, it has a bunch of stuff blacked out, but read what it says here in this first paragraph. Significance: member of multiple units, mercenary, blacked out, mutation, manifested itself as a young boy, blank 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 killed, blank ran off with childhood friend, Yukon, circus, the Canadian military in World War I. Now, why that's so interesting to me is because of the earliest rumors that Marvel Studios would first introduce Wolverine out of all of the X-Men in a World War I story. And there was a possibility of somehow crossing over with Captain America during World War II, or sometime in the in-between between World War I and II, a co-op mission between the US and the Canadian forces, and that would be the jumping off point for the X-Men in the MCU. That rumor initially cropped up as soon as we heard that Fox might sell to Disney at that. Now, that was way before the deal was even finalized, because if you remember, there were a ton of bidders at the time, and then when Disney finally got it, they had to get approved and couldn't officially, quote-unquote, do anything except for go have those barbecue meetings that Kevin Feige has so famously talked about, where they get all the producers, the writers, and directors out in a cabin retreat and talk about everything on a big board, work out the story by committee and what works best for the film. And you can bet that they've already done that, and that's where the rumor of a World War film with Wolverine crossing back into the MCU would take place. Now, I've got to be honest, I don't like the idea of just saying, hey, mutants were there the whole time, we didn't know about it. And I've got my own ideas about how they might just do this so that it's not a total cop-out, but I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Is it nuts that they really are doing this much behind the scenes? This is so much to get done in 2 weeks, or does it just prove that really they've been grinding this axe since the moment they found out that this could be a possibility, knowing that as soon as they could pull the trigger on all of this stuff and get the wheels set into motion? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, one of which is at the 400,000 subscriber mark, and that's going to be any day now. I bet we hit that in the next 48 hours, so last chance, get in there and hit that subscribe button. We're also giving away one over on my Spotify account, Allfires. It's free and easy to enter that one. If you have a Spotify account, great. If you don't, all you need is an email. Follow the link down in the comments in the descriptions below. Follow my account, Allfires. Play the song, then screenshot that and send the screenshot to everythingalwaysYT@gmail.com. I'll put that in the link in the description down below as well. Far fewer people are going to do this than sub to the channel. It'll greatly increase your odds of winning a PlayStation 4 Pro. Also, congratulations to our next ticket winner, Mr. Honor, for this comment here. Dwight in the MCU would be amazing. I'm all for it. So go ahead and hit me up, send me an email to either that same email or go ahead and hit me and DM me in my Instagram. I will get you those tickets ASAP for Spider-Man Far From Home and IMAX. Guys, we're giving away a ton more pairs of tickets, as well as another PlayStation 4 Pro and awesome other Marvel prizes, including some Hot Toys stuff later in the summer. All you have to do to win this stuff here at the channel, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and comment on this video, and the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.